Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also Mark Zicree of Space Command, and I'm in my writer hat, and I'm in my Retro Tomorrowland t-shirt, and I'm here to tell you that at 5 o'clock Pacific time today, we're doing a live stream where you can ask me anything about science fiction you want to ask. We can talk about anything you want to talk about, and as you know, I'm a walking brainiac of science fiction information. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm going to pick books at random out of right here by my bookcase and say some trivia about them that I know about. Okay, so for instance, here's an ace double. The ace doubles consisted of two sort of novelettes touted as novels, and they were edited by Donald A. Walheim. He had very specific tastes. This is he wanted things to be kind of easily accessible, so some of the writers like Philip K. Dick kind of bridled against that, but it was an income stream, if not a great one. And this is a great cover by Ed Emshwiller, and it's a book by Robert Silverberg. Now, Silverberg is not as well known today as he was once, but he was a pal of Harlan Ellison's. They came up together writing for science fiction magazines, to publish tons and tons of short stories. Silverberg wrote under many pseudonyms in many different genres, and then hit it big with major science fiction novels in the late 20th century. And he's still around. You can meet him at world science fiction conventions, and he wears a little button that says, I used to be famous. But he's a very nice guy, very urbane, very knowledgeable, and that's Robert Silverberg. Now here, at random, is a book, S is for Space. That's a portrait of Ray Bradbury on the cover. Ray was one of the great science fiction writers. If you've never read him, I highly recommend him. But this is S is for Space, is one of two books he wrote of short stories. One was called R is for Rocket. The other was called S is for Space. And those were books aimed at children, where both Heinlein, Robert A. Heinlein, and Ray Bradbury had the great idea of getting books of theirs placed in elementary and junior high and high school libraries so that young people would read them, become fans, and then start buying their books as they got older. Brilliant. It certainly introduced me to their work initially. Heinlein, throughout the late 40s and throughout the 50s, Heinlein was writing what are called juvenile novels. Now they're called YA, young adult. He was writing one of those per year. And Ray Bradbury was writing just a ton of short stories and novels. He wrote Fahrenheit 451. He wrote The Martian Chronicles. And but that was a great way to kind of start the ball rolling to develop a fan base, a loyal fan base. And it really, really worked for both of them. Let me see. I can pull out one more book maybe, and we'll see what I have to say about it. Okay, so here's another ace double, A Man Obsessed. What a great cover. There we go. That's by Alan E. Nourse, who was actually a doctor in real life. So this is a medically oriented science fiction novel. And then on the back is The Last Planet by Andre Norton. Now, both of these covers are by, I think this one's by Ed Emshwiller. I know that this one almost certainly is. But Andre Norton, of course, was the pseudonym of a female writer who used the name Andre Norton because back then female science fiction writers were not in demand, and so some of them, C.L. Moore, Andre Norton, etc., sort of posed as male writers, or the audience thought that they were male, and that gave them much more of a boost as writers. Andre Norton wrote for many decades and was very popular. She was another one of those writers who was in the elementary school libraries with some of her books. And so there you go. So that's a few samples. I could have pulled down any book from any of these thousands of books I've got and told you about them, and it would have been stuff like that, little minutiae, little things that you might not know about. And of course, we can talk about Star Wars and Star Trek and Jurassic World and all those things. So 5 o'clock Pacific time today, July 7th, and you will be vastly, vastly entertained. And that's about it for now. Talk soon. Bye, guys.